Hi, welcome back. I'm Lee. I do things on boats. You may have heard of me or may not. Seems that most people haven't. Doesn't matter. I did a video a little while back about how to take some of the emblems off of older boats if you want to clean them up and just utilize the designs that the engineers had when they were designing a boat without all the fancy graphics and the names and all the stuff. But mostly I take the names off because it's one more thing I don't like to detail around. And I know that might seem lazy to you, and it is. Moving on. I love taking these off. It's basically like a 60-pound, 80-pound test line, fishing line, and I tie it between two rather stiff objects, use them as a garrote, and weave it back and forth between the emblem and the boat through the double-sided sticky tape that adheres the two together. Now this one I actually pulled off the wreath in one piece, and that's kind of rare. I did it on both sides, so technically I earned something. I'm not quite sure. It's really rare to do. They usually break right in the middle at the bottom. Anyway, I'm going to use a 3M eraser wheel. I'm not sure if that's the technical term. I don't know what part number it is. It doesn't matter. Google probably could tell you. Anyway, it's basically a wheel that's made out of an eraser. It's probably how they came up with the name. It just spins on a drill, and you just kind of work it back and forth, and it pulls off the glue and the foam and everything. And it looks like it's smoking. It's not. That would be horrifying. The wheel is designed to break down and disintegrate, so as it's spinning at rather high RPMs, it tends to disintegrate. Anyway, this is one way, kind of a quick and easy, dirty way, to get rid of the emblems on the side of a boat. Not necessarily just a Cobalt. I hear that Sea Rays also have emblems. Larsons sometimes have emblems. Four Winds, you get the point. If you want to take them off, or maybe you broke a couple and you want to replace them with new ones or new old stock ones, this is what you have to do. Now, for your letters on the hull, the eraser wheel is also really cool. And this is a trick I learned from guys who detail cars. They always seem to have cool toys and stuff. So one guy was taking the pinstriping off of a car, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're going to kill the paint. He's like, nah, shut up, noob. You don't know what you're talking about. And I learned he was right. I didn't have a clue what I was talking about. As long as you keep this thing moving, don't let it build up too much heat, and you focus specifically on the decal part, it's really kind of a quick, neat way to pull a decal off. Not my favorite way, and the wheel itself kind of disintegrates rather quickly, so you might get one or two or maybe even three uses out of one before you have to replace the wheel. That being said, sometimes it's nice not to scratch up your boat, like you might think that I'm doing right now. This is just a flat piece of metal with a little handle on it. I get under the decal, and then I slowly peel away. It takes a little time. It's a little tedious. And yes, you risk gouging your gel coat. I've been doing this for as long as probably at least your grandkids have been alive. I'm pretty sure if I do scratch the boat, I'm okay putting the scratch to shame with a little bit of compound and a buffer. I can fix it. That being said, I also detune the nuts out of that blade so that it's not going to scratch anything, or at least not very deeply. Anyway, two ways to skin a cat. I'm sure there's a third. If anyone's got a way to do it with a 12 gauge, please send me that video. All right, down to the last little bit, and I can get most of this off with just my fingernails. So I think that's exactly what I did. And then just like before with the use of the wheel, you still have some residual goo on the boat. So you're going to want to grab some more acetone and do that whole wipey wipe thing until basically all the residue is gone and you're ready to compound. Ha! Ironically, I recently met a girl who could move her hand exactly that fast. To further elaborate what I mean by being careful and having a detuned blade, it's not sharp enough to poke my skin, and it's just sharp enough to get under something, lift up a little bit, just enough so that I can get my fingers on it and pull it off. I suppose one of the lessons that I learned as a kid was don't force anything, or at least that was the lesson. Don't force anything if you can. Try to be gentle all the time, otherwise you're going to cause something bad to happen. And so when I'm doing this, especially on somebody else's boat, I'm generally very careful, and it terrifies me to ruin something that I'm trying to perfect. So I try really, really hard to make sure that everything I do is at least thought out prior to me doing it. That being said, I make mistakes just like everybody else. I've done this for a long time, and a lot of this becomes kind of habit. I don't think too much about it. But at the same time, I've never really shown you exactly what I do. So I apologize. You guys have been patient. You've supported me throughout all the stupid videos and all the blah, 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 blah in the description parts and my New Year's stuff and the fireworks and whatnot. And all the times that I've said so. So I figured I'd show you very intimately what it is I do with decals on a boat. Now, it's kind of boring, so let's wrap this up. Let's move on to something kind of cool. I'd like you to pay attention to the surface of this boat now. And then I want you to focus on this one. We did about 2 days on this one. Compound, heavy cut, perfect it, clean it, wax it. This thing came out so nice. I was just blown away. You can actually see the sundog in the reflection, but I'll show you that later. This and the next boat are similar. They're both Cobalts. They've both had their emblems removed, and thank God. And they came out, or they're coming out, really, really nice. See the sundog? The little circle around the sun? Little ice crystals up in the high atmosphere. Anyway, creates a little rainbow. Kind of cool. But you'll notice there's not really a swirl there. And if you do see a swirl, I almost promise you it's just me wiping poorly. But if you're interested at all in learning how to do this, I have no problem showing you how to do this. This took 2 days with 2 guys. If you recall the black cobalt that we were looking at just moments ago, this took about 2.5 hours. And again, sundog, no swirl. Stay tuned, guys. I've got some stuff to show you. I've just been a little bit busy. I've had some guests that are preparing to arrive tomorrow, as a matter of fact, May 5th, 2022. I will have some information for you after that. In the meantime, just wet your whistle on this and remember what this looked like. Look at that scratch. Yikes. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're interested in following up, go ahead and subscribe, give a thumbs up, tell a friend. Thanks.